Welcome back, everybody. All right, now we're going to start talking about SNMP. And remember, with SNMP, one of the things that we need to make sure that we know, because there's three versions, version 1, version 2C, and version 3, okay? We need to pay attention to the management information base that needs to be uploaded because we have things called OIDs. But I'm not going to spoil a surprise. There's a presentation that's going to tell you everything about that, and then there's a lab at the end that you will configure SNMP, all right? So pay attention to the presentation, to the lab from scratch, so you can see how it's done, and then you'll know what SNMP does. We all know the truth. You use a third-party software, you use the Cisco DNA, you use some sort of dashboard to do SNMP, all right? But hey, for the test, this is the stuff that we need to know so we can answer the questions. Cool? I'll see you inside. Well, welcome back, everybody. Now we're going to get into SNMP. Now, this is interesting because I wanted to verify, because I had said before that SNMP is not in your volume 2. That's not true. I was mistaken. SNMP is in your volume 2, but it's not right after syslog. It's in the IP services. And if they start talking about it there as far as SNMP. Okay, so SNMP is in your volume 2, but that's going to be on a completely different chapter than syslog is in. Okay, it's further back under miscellaneous IP services. So they're being tricky, because usually syslog, SNMP, and NetFlow were one of the things that fell into device management protocols that were together, one right after the other. Now they've separated syslog, put it in one chapter, and put SNMP somewhere else. So again, in a miscellaneous IP services chapter. So that they're playing that game again. All right, no big deal. Now you know. All right, so it is in there. It's just under one of those nook and crannies that we've talked about. So what the hell is SNMP, right? SNMP stands for, it's a network management, right? A simple network management protocol. That's it. You know how old this thing is? It's 28 years old. That was the first implementation of SNMP back in 1988. They won't ask you questions about that, but just so you know that this has been around since back then. And they give you an RFC, which is 1065, but again, I don't think they're going to ask you about that. I hope not. Okay, that they're going to ask you about that. All right, but that's how old this is, and obviously they've upgraded since then. Okay, but the whole point with SNMP, all right, is to monitor devices. All right, any cross platforms, Linux, Cisco, Windows, etc. Now, one of the important things is called the MIB, which is the management information base. This is what you need to make sure is updated because they use something called an object identifier, an OID number. Okay. Now, what you're looking at right there, that 1.2.3.4.62.89.8.9 represents something. Everything that you see, you don't need to memorize those numbers at all. Okay, just know that that is in your MIB, and when you're looking at things that you want to look at, the way that the software will, when you do that get bulk, okay, to retrieve the information, it's going to have that OID. Okay, it's going to have that OID, and everything you see on a router, is an object. It's like when they talk about Windows. I'll make that analogy. It's an analogy, okay? The analogy is that everything in Windows, the icons, windows that you open, all these things that you work with, the checkboxes, the text fields, everything in there is an object. And an object has to be identified somehow, right? So in the router is the same thing. So everything in the router has a particular OID. So one of the things you want to make sure is that if you're going to do SNMP management, that you have the latest MIB, right? The latest MIB information, all right? You download it, you install it, you have it, all right? So you can get the correct notifications that you want to see, because there's SNMP uses things called managers and agents, all right? The agents obviously they're configured for the clients, and the managers are for the management, right? On the server it exists. So, and you use get or set. It all depends if you have read-only or read-write access to these particular things. Normally, they recommend you only use read-only access, not read-write, because if somebody gains access to your SNMP management server and you left it open because you're not following proper policies and protocols and procedures, and now you have you set the community string, which is what you configure on the router, to read-write, they can actually, through the server, they can change the information. Instead of getting, they can set it to that what you just changed. Okay, but you just, you got the information, you saw it, you changed it, and then you set it. It'll send it to the router at that point, or the switch, whatever it is you're managing. All right, so be ready for that, because the first thing you do is you send an SNMP request and you get an SNMP response. All right, it's not a big deal. You don't need to memorize these numbers right here. No, it just grabs statistics from devices. Okay, cross platforms. These are called OID, object identifiers. Okay, that stay in the management information base. All right, always download the newest ones. Okay, and again, they're just like counters. All right, they're just like counters. All right, and they look at everything. They look at everything. Now, there's different versions of it. There's different versions. Oh, I thought I had it here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so you have version 1, which is not used today. That was the original back in 1988 that they started with. All right, and then they went to version 2C, which is the most popular. All right, it's not as strict in security as it should be. Uses a community string, which is in clear text. But the point is, you can make that community string either read-only or read-write. And again, what they want you to do is read-only. So again, once that information comes down to your SNMP management server, if you leave it open with this information, they cannot write to it because it's read-only. All right, and then version 3, which is the latest version, unless using something for JavaScript or something like that. I think it's version 4J or something like that. All right, but version 3 is the latest version, and that has actual user-based authentication, encryption. You can assign groups to it, users. So basically what you're doing is creating, before I get into that. So version 3 has a lot more to offer as far as security, all right, than the other one. But again, the most popular is V2C, all right? But it's up to you. What is it you want to do? If you want to set up the complete security for your SNMP, remember, this is not a security class, but security has to be part of everything. And security is based on layers. So the more security you have, the better. But also the more security you have, the more cumbersome some things become. So you're the IT individual. You can set up all the security you want in the world. You can set up a friggin', the most artful and complex web of security that you and you alone understand. That's fine. Just make sure it's transparent to the user, all right, when they're trying to do things, okay? Because if not, or you're going to make it crazy for the other IT individuals that work within your team. You're like, what the hell is going on here? I have no idea. All right, so anyway, version 2C. Know that there's 3 versions. Version 1, it's not used. Version 2C is the most popular. It uses a community string, read-only, read-write. And version 3 now has actual user-based authentication encryption, and you can actually assign groups and users to it. So, and what basically you're doing is you're creating a histogram. Yes, you're creating a baseline over time when you're using SNMP. Why is so much bandwidth being used up? Why is so much CPU usage being used up? Why is so much traffic coming into the Ethernet? It's like these counters that we used to use in NetMon. Those of you that remember NetMon, okay? This is something that it's monitoring all that, okay? It's monitoring all that and lets you know. So you have to have it running for a period of time. If you go walk into a company and they say, oh, well, look at our SNMP, and they give you the numbers or the percentages, or you're looking at a pie chart. Maybe easier to understand when you look at a chart, okay? Because a chart is based on 100% usage, 50% usage, whatever. That you can understand. But if you're just looking at random numbers, they mean nothing to you. That's not your network. You have no idea what it should be running at. So that's why you develop something called a baseline of a normal working network. They say over a period of a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever you want to do, and then you have something to base things on. You have something to base things on, all right? That is what you can do, all right? Now, there are different third-party software out there, all right? Like I said, SNMP creates a chart over time. We talked about that, right? But you have SolarWinds that's been doing this forever. PRTG, Cisco works, which there's a joke about that Cisco doesn't work, but whatever. All right, and now we have the Cisco DNA. Cisco DNA that's going to do this for us as well. Okay, and you can go ahead here. I'll just show you one chart. Okay, that I just went and got for SolarWinds, and here it shows you. Right, this is the link to the core gigabit E0. Okay, the traffic in, traffic out, and it's showing you how much bandwidth and when it's peaking or it's not peaking, so you know how much bandwidth it is that you're looking at. Right? And this is SolarWinds. And SolarWinds has been around forever, okay? And people are used to using SolarWinds. But now we have the Cisco DNA. So this is what SNMP does. SNMP is not only looking at a command line interface. I don't care how automated you put it. The whole point is for you to be able to look at charts like these, whether they're line graphs or they're bar charts or they're pie charts, or they're just percentages that you're looking at. But it's easier to understand, and they're color-coded. So whether here, the color means traffic out, traffic in. Okay, but you can see that the traffic in is a flat line across at the bottom, where the blue light, traffic out, is the one that's peaking the most. So if you look at this, and if you already created a baseline, and if it jumps up, a lot of the software says if it goes beyond a certain threshold, which you can set up, it's going to be red. And then that's going to tell you, hey, okay, something's going on. We have too much bandwidth being taken up. Why is that the case? So before you go to your boss, that's where you look at NetFlow and say, it's Laz's fault. He's looking at things he shouldn't be looking at, okay? So, and when things that I shouldn't be looking at, because I already got my hand slapped that one time because I was looking at bodybuilding videos, all right, at work. And that's why I got my hand slapped the next day. I go, there you go, Laz, you should know better. I know. So that's the whole thing, okay? But you need to manage this stuff. And normally you manage it through third-party software, dashboards like the Cisco DNA, okay, or SolarWinds or what have you. All right, but SNMP, that's what it does. It manages and it looks at all the things that you want to look at, like CPU usage, the bandwidth, traffic coming in, traffic coming out, things of that nature. That's going to see, okay, what's going on in our network, that things are slow, they're not running, it's not running as efficient as it should. Why can that be? And you can have a baseline done, and you can compare the numbers and come to a conclusion what you need to do. That is what SNMP. So you see that syslog, SNMP are two things that should work together. They should work not together in the sense that they should be, put it, closely together, because they're doing the same jobs. They're monitoring. These are monitoring type software, okay? Device management type softwares that are used on the network to let you know how better efficient it could be. All right, so enough of that. Let's go to the packet tracer and let's configure SNMP. All right, so here we are. You should know this, we're familiar. We did syslog with this. But now we're going to do SNMP. SNMP, and we're just going to do it on this router. Just so you can see what it is. It's not a big deal. All right, so we're going to come in here, open up SNMP, open up the router, all right, CLI. We're going to enable COMT, and let's question mark it. Let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down, let's go down. There's SNMP server right there. Okay, we do SNMP server. What do you want to do? Oh, community. Okay, and then a word. Okay, I'm gonna put Lazaro. Okay, and then what? Read only. I don't want nobody to be messing around with my stuff. All right, cool. See how the agent started? See the logging? It says it starts with a percentage. Remember we talked about that? The logging comes back. Don't turn that off, please. So it's on. Is there anything else I need to do? Do I need to point it somewhere? No. Okay. So we did that. That SNMP community server. Okay. It's on. All right. Cool. All right. No problem. The engine is working. So we're going to go to the server. We're going to go to the desktop. And look, the management information base. All right. So where do we go? Let's go to advanced. What's the IP address of what we're trying to look at? 192.168.1.254. I hope that's correct. I don't have my glasses on. All right, that's the port number there. Is the read-only community. What did I put? I forgot what I put. Isn't that amazing? Lazaro, all caps. Okay. So you got to make sure that you got that. What happened? Why is that doing that to me? Why is that doing? Here it is. Advanced. Okay, so it's read only. So it's my name in caps. Lazaro. And what version? Well, we don't use version 1, right? And then version 2 doesn't say 2C, but version 2 is the one that we most popularly use, and we click OK. All right. So let's just say we got the latest and greatest MIB downloaded. There's your OID right there. There's your get bulk or set if you want to set it, but you can't because it's read only. Okay. And here, this is why you won't do it here because this is a royal pain. All right. So you're going to go MIB. Let's go to the around advanced router IP, the ISO.org, the DoD, the internet, management, MIB2. Let's look at the system. Can we just look at the system name? Let's get it. Oh, look, it's router 1. Look at the object identifier that it puts to the system name. Okay, let's do something else. Let's go IP. Let's look at the routing table. Can we look at the routing table? No. Okay, let's get bulk. Sometimes you have to do get bulk. Look, I look at the right 10114, 10115, 10110. I get all these information, right? I get it all right? But again, look at the OID. That's insane. Okay, I know I have RIP. I have RIP involved. Can I look at RIP? Get bulk. Go. Okay, doesn't give me anything. That's the OID for it. All right, so can I get a RIP entry? Go. Can I just say get? Go. No, it has to be get bulk. Okay. Get bulk. Cancel. Get bulk. Okay. Maybe not very entry. Let's see. Can I keep going? Let's say pure table. Let's do that one. Pure table. Click go. Same stuff. All right. Oh, here we go. The last update. Let's see if we can get that information. Time tricks. 0000. What the heck? Pure version. Go. Oh. SNMP command. No result found on 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, I don't have the main stuff open for that I should have. But you can see how long I see the system's been up. There should be stuff that I should be 2 hours 49 minutes. All right, system object ID. Using whatever that is. Yeah, so you got the location. Will it tell me the location? Really? No, it doesn't give you the location because I never put it. All right, so this is what SNMP is. That's it. All right, because I'm looking at the router. All right, that's all it's doing. And, if you just click the system, it tells you, oh, it's running the Cisco iOS version, blah, 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 R1, and all these different stuff. So again, it's just information about what is it that you want to look at in the router. all right, in the router. And if I looked at advanced, if I look at standard, let me see if I see anything that's standard. Yeah, look at, are you really going to do this? Let's look at what's private. Oh, it's enterprise. Oh, it's Cisco and Cisco management. Oh, that's EIGRP. Cisco products. See if I can get something like that in bulk. No. Okay. So MIB2. No, can't do that. All right, I guess a packet trace. But you're not going to do this. You're going to do this. You are literally going to go to work every day and you're going to go open up something like this and you're going to just drill down into all these different things? Of course not. Here's a router, here's a switch. But I don't have anything running on the switch because I haven't configured the switch, so I'm not going to get any information. But know what this is. That's it. Your biggest thing is pointing it to the right IP address. That's the port number that it's using. It's a read-only community. I'm not going to put the read-write, the version that you want to use. Okay? If you're going to use version 3, you have to set up some sort of, users and groups and authentication stuff, passwords and all that stuff. So that's the only thing. So understand what it's doing. That's it. Okay? And normally you're going to be working through a third-party software that's going to show you this. You're not going to be looking, know that it's OIDs, know that you need your management information database, which is right here, your management information database, because that's different than what we did in the syslog, right? In the syslog from before, right? There's no information going across, that's why we don't see anything else here. That's the last thing we looked at, right? It's completely different. It's the management information base that we need to go online and make sure I have the first, the best and the newest and latest and greatest, so we can go ahead and get that particular information. That's all that is. But you're not going to do it like this. You're not. You're going to be looking at third-party software. Period. All right. The versions. Okay. It's only 3. All right. And the most popular is the one I just chose. Read-only community. And what are we doing in the router? All we did was set a community string and we set it to. This is all we did. That's all we did. So the agent started, right? And look, why did this pop up? It started with a % symbol. It's the logging information from the router. That's letting you know, hey, listen, he just started. Awesome. Okay? You need to do that. Do not turn logging off on the console, please. You need to know what's going on, right? It's not going to kill your router. So that's what this is all about, all right? And with SNMP, very easy to do, especially for the test. And again, you're not going to be configuring it. They're going to be asking you questions. Which of the following commands would you type to turn on SNMP, SNMP? A, B, C, D, E. Oh, SNMP, and adding to create a community string. And what should you be, rewrite or read only? Well, I mean, they'll ask you a little bit more specific than that, I would assume, because read only, you know now why. Because since you can go to your MIB, okay, and you can actually set what you want, that's a problem. You can change things around. You don't want it to be read-write. You want it to be read-only, okay? That is the practice that's out there, the good practice, right? The best practice, I should say. The best practice is to have it read-only, not rewrite, right? Read-only, not rewrite. And again, it's third-party software that you're going to be looking at. But for testing purposes, know these things that I'm showing you, the OID, the get bulk, not set, get bulk or just get, and then who, okay, now doesn't want to come up. All right, who is it that you're going to, is it a read-only community, and the community string, you're going to set it on the router using the SNMP-server command community string read-only. Very, very simple. No big deal. This is SNMP. See you in the next one.